Alright, we are looking at the S-Coil by Limbsaver. You have probably seen these, and that's because you'll find them on a wide variety of bows. You'll see them on the most expensive bows all the way down to the most inexpensive bows and everywhere in between. And that is because it is an extremely inexpensive part, and it is an extremely effective part. And honestly, I think it looks good too. So stabilizers are a tricky thing. I mean, as long as you got a well-made one and it's on the bow, it'll probably do its job. I mean, the job of a stabilizer is to sort of balance out the weight of the bow, and also it acts as a dampener, so when you shoot, any vibrations that remain in the bow after the shot will kind of scatter, and they'll eventually end up in your stabilizer, and that's having one on there to absorb those vibrations and cut down on hand shock and noise and things. So they do have an important role to play. But with that said, something like the S-Coil here that is honestly extremely inexpensive, completely rubberized, it's going to do a fantastic job of being a stabilizer. So everything outside of that honestly is shooter preference and personal preference, and most of it comes down to cosmetics from that point. So when you've established that the stabilizer in question is a good part that will do a good job, everything outside of that's just kind of picking out the one that you like best. So it's really easy to get caught up in it and pick out a stabilizer that costs upwards to $100 just because it looks good. So and there's nothing wrong with that. So it's all about picking out something you like that'll help customize the bow to your personal preferences. But I did just want to get a chance to show off this one. Extremely affordable, especially if you're putting together a new outfit. It's nice to have a part that you don't have to spend a fortune on to make sure that you get a good part and an effective part, and that's what we've got here. I personally think they look good, and I brought kind of a high-end Obsession bow with me just to help prove my point. This is the Obsession Turmoil, one of my favorite bows ever, and I have a S-Coil on it. And in my opinion, I think the bow looks excellent. I mean, the S-Coil it's not as fancy or as flashy as some of the more expensive ones, but I know it's going to do its job as a stabilizer just great, and I think it looks fine. So again, personal preferences, shooter preferences, that's part of the fun though. You get to pick out the ones you like, what you think is best for you, and that's kind of what makes putting together an outfit fun. But one more time, these are the S-Coils by Limbsaver, and I would definitely look at them and check them out and see if they're right for you or not.